What will you do after you die? The lights in the salon were still humming, that low, familiar buzz I've heard for 1,000 nights. But then I saw my silver cutting shears, the ones I've held every day for a decade, just floating in midair. They weren't in Apos, falling. Nothing was falling. That's when I noticed the floor was covered in hair clippings, but I wasn't Apos, standing on them anymore. And then, I've spent my entire life obsessed with how people look. As a hairstylist, your world is mirrors. It's lighting. It's the perfect shade of ash blonde. It's the way a person's face changes when they feel beautiful. That Tuesday night, I was staying late to finish up some inventory. The salon was quiet, just the way I like it, smelling of expensive shampoo and hairspray. I was reaching for a bottle of toner on the top shelf when my vision started to spark, like static on an old television. I've had small seizures before, but this felt heavy. My knees hit the linoleum, and I remember thinking, end quote, I hope I didn't Apos, break that bottle, end quote. The floor was cold against my cheek for maybe a split second, and then the cold just evaporated. I didn't Apos, feel the seizure anymore. I didn't Apos, feel the tightness in my chest or the flickering of my muscles. I just felt light. I remember looking at the clock on the wall, the one with the gold frame. The second hand was vibrating, stuck between two heartbeats. I think I tried to call out, maybe, but my voice didn't Apos, sound like a sound. It sounded like a feeling. I looked down at the station where I'd worked since I was 22. My brushes, my combs, my expensive Italian blow dryer. Everything that mattered to me an hour ago suddenly looked like toys, like things from a dream I had finally woken up from. The darkness of the salon floor didn't Apos, just fade. It shattered. It was like 1,000 suns were rising at once, but the light didn't Apos, burned my eyes. It felt like liquid warmth. Imagine the feeling of a long-lost friend hugging you, but that hug is made of light, and it's happening to every single cell of your being. I didn't Apos, have a body anymore, at least not one that could hurt. The vibration of the seizure was gone. The fear, that sharp, cold fear I've carried since I was a little girl, it just dissolved. I remember thinking, end quote, oh, so this is what it Apos is supposed to feel like, end quote. There was no sound of the city outside, no cars, no sirens. Just a frequency, a hum that felt like a lullaby. I felt so incredibly loved, not for being a good stylist, not for being a good daughter, just for existing. It was the first time in 31 years that I didn't Apos, feel like I had to, end quote. And then, I was looking down from the ceiling. I saw the top of my own head. I've spent thousands of hours looking at the tops of people and Apos as heads, but seeing my own hair, dark and messy on that cold floor, was surreal. I saw my hand. It was still twitching slightly, a leftover reflex of the nerves. I saw the bottle of toner I'd dropped. The liquid was spreading slowly across the white tile, a pale, pearly purple color. It looked beautiful. Even the mess looked beautiful from up there. I saw the end quote, closed end quote, sign hanging on the front door, swaying just a little bit from the air conditioner. I wanted to tell that girl on the floor to stop worrying. I wanted to tell her that the inventory didn't Apos matter, but I realized I was being pulled away. The walls of the salon started to become transparent, like they were made of mist. I moved through the roof, through the night air, but I didn't Apos see the stars. I saw a tunnel of gold. It wasn't Apos a hole in the sky. It was a hole in reality. And as I entered it, the salon, the scissors, the mirrors, the life I'd built, became nothing more than a faint whisper. The tunnel didn't Apos lead to a place. It led to a presence. I was standing, or floating, I'm not sure, in a world made entirely of white and gold silk. There were no walls, no ceiling, just an endless horizon of light. And the feeling, it was love, but not the kind of love we have here on Earth. Not the kind that asks for anything in return. It was a love that knew every mistake I'd ever made. Every time I was mean to a client, every time I hated my own reflection, and it loved me because of those things, not in spite of them. I saw a figure. It wasn't Apos, a person with a face I recognized, but it was someone I knew better than my own mother. We didn't Apos, speak with mouths. The being showed me a end quote, life review, end quote, but it wasn't Apos, a list of my sins. It showed me the time I gave a free haircut to a woman who had just lost her job. I remembered that day. I thought it was just a small thing. But in the light, I could feel the ripple of hope that woman felt when she looked in the mirror. I realized then, beauty meant nothing there. The expensive products, the perfect highlights, the symmetry of a face, they were all invisible. The only beauty that existed was the light we give to others. Suddenly, the being of light reached out. It didn't T touch me, but I felt push, not yet, Rachel. There is more light for you to share, Gasp. I slammed back into my body. The smell of the salon, the chemicals, the burnt hair from a nearby iron, hit me like a physical blow. My lungs felt like they were full of broken glass. I was staring at the legs of my styling chair. I lay there for a long time, watching the closed sign on the door. I was crying, but they weren't sad tears. I was just overwhelmed by how much I missed that light. It's been 3 years now. I still work at the salon, but the mirrors don't bother me anymore. When a client sits in my chair and starts complaining about their wrinkles or their gray hair, I just smile. I look past the hair, past the skin. I try to see that spark of gold I saw in the tunnel. I don't tell many people about that night. They'd think I'm crazy, just another emotional stylist. But I know what's waiting for us when the lights finally hum to a stop. And for the first time in my life,